welcome to the show. You look incredible, like a dessert that owns a yacht.
That's exactly the vibe I was going for. You know, sweet but slightly out of your tax bracket.
Mission accomplished. How does one even shop for a suit?
Gold on my neck, gold on my hand, purple with the stripes, that's the walk of a man. Sidewalk shining, city lights humming, every step I take, they know a boss is.
Hey, we love that umbrella guy. All right. Thank you.
Police or zombie problems? Your tortoise won't stop breakdancing?
Try blue tape.
The miracle of our age. Yay!
I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem under the name ThATuMBRELLAgUy. I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me, or I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. I told him to call me, or I'm a...
You know what? I talked to your mayor.
I'm ADA protected.
When I was young, it seemed that life was so wonderful. A miracle, oh it was beautiful. When I was young, it seemed that life was so wonderful. A miracle, oh it was beautiful. When I was young, it seemed that life was so wonderful.
Welcome to the Hat Rack, Volume Con. What the polyflop, quick grab your poly mop. I'm getting masked up to watch that lawyer drop. You threatened to sue me for what, a keyboard grudge? Well, welcome to contempt, starring a federal judge. Taking the task for all the lies you've told, only to skip out on court, yeah, that's really bold. You really wanna dip, pretending nothing matters. Well, your career called, son, and it's up in tatters. You toss it all away over mac and cheese, while laying down excuses with a band of fleas. Still done. And as far as the bill, you sent it COD, asking a bunch of marks to pay for something free. Yeah, we've watched for weeks as you've tried to stall your self-imposed version of a wrecking ball. Is this a magic show? Do you want me to cheer? Because poof, I saw a lawyer disappear. Add some rabbit in a hat. And what's up with those magic rocks? Are those things even on? We have a lawyer dropping out, liability going up. The Ohio order has bounced twice, and now there's more parties in the jackpot. Is your checkbook even on? Because the well has run dry. No more ecosystem, no more super donor. Your case, it just polyflopped. Now we're running undergrounds that we've never charted. Do they think it's all over? Because it's just getting started. Checking out this case of epic fail, as perhaps the ecosystem should be afraid of jail. I would be. The ecosystem is cooked.
Oh man, what's up today? I'm reporting live, by the way, from the jail side. That's right, because apparently I am going to be sued and I'm going to be jailed because of chicken skin of the soul. That's right, amongst other things. Last night was so epic, guys, gals, others, that I decided to write a new chapter in Chicken Skin of the Soul. In fact, apparently, apparently they don't like that much. It's really funny because the ecosystem made a comic book where they let's just say they made a man look like he's lurking with kids. They have called everything including revenge porn, parody and satire, and yet the chicken skin is besmirchment of their character. So I think tonight or today or whatever it is, I don't know if it's tonight, actually. It's still early today. I think when we get to a certain point today, I think we might add on another layer of the chicken skin. That's right. But yes, apparently we learned a lot of things. Did you know, for example, that you can fail a drug test for, let's say, the old ski slopes because of poppy seed bagels? And if you're like, well, doesn't that control opiates? Well, you would be wrong. Oh my God, I heard so many fun things. So many fun things. But apparently we're all going to get sued because we brought up court documents. It's funny too, when they were bringing up Hale's divorce records and everything, everything's okay and everything. You can do anything you want. But when you talk about the arrest records of certain people that have been blamed for stiffing out tens of thousands of dollars on people, that's a bridge too far, and you don't understand. So like I said, we have a new chapter for Chicken Skin of the Soul that we will talk about at the end of this. I think it will be beautiful. But we have a lot to cover. Another thing we missed yesterday, we missed a wonderful little interview portion in the attack on lawyers. Oh yeah, by the way, they also told me that threatening to have people, bikers, pop up at a lawyer's office unannounced. Yeah, that's not a threat, right? That's what they said too. That's not a threat. Again, if you tell them to, if you're like, oh well, I think if someone said they were going to do that to you, you'd see that as a threat. They'll, their standard MO. Oh my God, they threatened to have bikers come to my house. See, so it would be a threat. That's the way they say it would be. It would be if anyone else said it, but not them. So that was interesting to find out too. I thought that was pretty fascinating. But that last night was chock full of fun. It was Ray lying. Him also, weirdly enough, he was bringing up Megan, and he was bringing her up sexually, which I would think wouldn't be a Christian thing to do. But I don't know. I don't know anymore. Again, I would think that actively helping out convicts in threatening people and actively participating in fraud and stuff, I would think that would be against the rules too. But what do I know? There's a lot of stuff. I did want to show you something though that was actually kind of interesting. There was an interview that was embedded in all of that stuff, and it was talking about the Ohio lawyer Sean Martin. It was about 6 minutes long, and I thought it was interesting because they were talking about Sean. And well, let's just let it talk for itself. It's kind of interesting. Like I said, we positioned the article if you do want to look it over. Again, I do believe that I look at their articles. Some people are like, I don't do that. Shit, I do. These people are entertaining as hell to me. So I very much look at their articles. I listen to their interviews. Oh yeah. Michelle Preston doing an interview where you think about the background of this. First of all, let me note the background of this. All right. Because this was so amazing. And I like I said, I want to bring this up before we get into getting sued and all that wonderful stuff. Okay, but you really need to understand the whole backdrop. Here, let me show you this. Again, this is the new Volmont article dropped yesterday, going after Sean Martin. But in the wonderful part about it too, they added in the picture of the Ohio magistrate to target her. They targeted again Sean, They went after him. They had a lot to say about him. But right in the middle of it, you see this clip right here. There's about 6 minutes talking about Sean. So I thought, wow, that's pretty interesting, because if that's a new addition, then what that means is that Preston actually participated in an article that targets the magistrate right before her hearing. You think about that. That's probably not the smartest move ever. But what do I know, right? What do I know? So let's check this out here. Like I said, this is kind of interesting. You can see the article it belongs to. You are welcome to look them up. Again, like I said, I do. Some people are like, no, don't ever. No, I do. They mail them to me, and I laugh at them. They're asking me to cover him. All right, let's go. Let's see what Michelle Preston has to say about Sean Martin. One day they may motivate Sean Martin to clap back, and that day will be really funny. So let's check this out together.
All right, this is Michael Volpe, and I'm back with Michelle Preston, and I wanted to ask you about another lawyer you had, Sean Martin out of Ohio. So I'm going to ask first the same question I asked about the other guy. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate him?
So how would you rate Sean Martin on a scale from 1 to 10? Let's see. How do you think that's going to go? Let's see.
In terms of your representation, or his representation of you?
I would say probably a 0.
A 0.
Why so?
Sean. Again, why is this stuff important? Because new lawyers get at it all the time. And name a lawyer that hasn't really been in the crosshairs. Stark passed. They blame Stark for the failure of. Don't get this twisted now. They blame him for the failure of the 2 state cases. They absolutely do. They blame him. They always omit too that he tried to bail, calling different issues, not just health. It wasn't just health that he tried to pull in there. He also tried to pull in technological issues, anything to keep from talking about the case. But they blame him. So even that guy gets blamed, but they have to walk it carefully. They try to position blame on other people, trying to say that Jeremy Hale's kind of caused it. But then you got Silverman. They just wrote a hit piece about, talking about how Silverman's a piece of garbage and more. Then they have this wonderful thing. Oh, wow. Thank you, by the way, all you wonderful people spending an early Sunday. I know that these are weird times to do it, but man, this stuff just never stops. And like I said, Stupid Dave still has a great filing against him, but I'm like, well, do I cover that, or I cover people talking about suing me? Because of satire and parody, which again we'll get to, but let's get this.
Hello.
Because he did nothing.
All right. Now he
did nothing. Sean Martin did nothing. That's what they said. Nothing, Sean. Nothing.
Represented you, I think, one time in a contempt of court hearing. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. So the contempt of court, what was the allegation, if you will? Why were you brought in for contempt of court?
John and I had went to a town hall meeting in Otter Creek. We were there.
So look, okay, in this, right before their, oh my God, right before their hearing, talking about a protective order and whether or not they're violent, giving yet another interview, talking about how they violated, which, again, this will be fun to discuss here because, yeah, well, let's just go with it.
3 hours prior to the meeting, we called the sheriff, let him know we were coming. We also did a video to show.
It doesn't matter, first of all, if you call the sheriffs and let them know you're coming. That actually doesn't matter whatsoever. You can't call the sheriff and say, hey, sheriff, I'm going to go to Walmart here and then be like, cool, that's fun, you know? And then when the person with the protective order against you shows up, the cops can't be like, well, they called beforehand. No, that's not how it works. And if they do it, then that says there's another problem. If the cops have been telling you that it's okay to go places and a protective order is not going to be an issue for you, that is a problem with the police too. So just to note that, you know, and there is a lawsuit. Some of this stuff here as well might just end up in that too. If the cops have been telling her, yeah, no problem, go ahead and show up for this stuff. You know, if this guy comes here, won't be a problem. Yeah, that's that looks like yet another. But then again, Dan Owens said, hey, you should sue the sheriff department. So I digress. Let's continue.
That we were there before anyone else. And when I went in the building, Hale's girlfriend, Martha Rizk, showed up supposedly after I went in.
We actually saw the video, Michelle. We saw the video. We saw the car. We saw you. We saw John. We saw it all, Michelle. So it's kind of weird. You know, I don't appreciate being gaslit, first of all. But I definitely don't appreciate being gaslit when there is a video of what happened that exists. And we have this tale of it, and it's like, wait a minute, in the video, I don't think things match up exactly like we're being told. I would pull up the video for you. I'm imagining by now all of you have seen that video a billion times. If you haven't, let me know. And for another live stream, we'll pull that up. We will refer back to it. We will refer back to the actual statements. Again, all this stuff is going to get frisky. In December the 5th, they paid off new law. I wonder how much they've told them, because they're going to run into all kinds of crazy shit. Again, the Luthman stuff will be real fun. You know, explain to me this. Fun times, man. American Woman tongue. If you eat poppy seeds, doesn't it show up as? Yes, it shows up as an opiate. Exactly, it does. Codeine, not coca. That was their big talking point last night. They also, though, said this is a direct statement about what they had to say too. This is actually a direct item with it. Give me a second. She said, quote, my husband's a grown man. Even if he was to do whatever they think he's doing, that's his own business. Now, we'll get back to that in a minute. But yeah, that's kind of its own admission in and of itself. And honestly, I don't give a shit about him failing tests or anything else. What I give a shit about is them being accused of scamming people out of tens of thousands of dollars. And the record that they have that they're denying is real, by the way, says that they scam people out of money. So, but let's continue first, and then we'll get back to that.
In the building. Well, they in turn filed a complaint. When I walked out of the building about 25 minutes later, because the meeting was short, we all walked out. The deputies were there, and she was saying that she had spoken to me, that I had filmed her, and I'd never even seen her. So Sean said that he would represent us to try and get rid of that because we didn't do it. So
Sean's going to come in. Now, there's still a bunch of, again, I don't know, nor have I asked Sean about this, because this would be the particulars of their agreement. But I don't know if they keep saying he was paid a costly premium, let's just say. Now, again, I'm not of the mindset that he shouldn't be paid. You know, he went in there again. These people, but look at what they do to your character. No matter what, look at how they talk about what you did and how this comes together.
Gave a video to him. We gave all of the evidence, and when the time came for the hearing, he said nothing. Nothing.
Right. So Martha presented her evidence, and Sean didn't present any evidence in response.
Exactly. What he did, we were in his ear, or we were talking to him somehow, and I said,
Wait, we were talking to him somehow. What does that even mean? Well, what does that mean? We were talking to him somehow. Does that mean you don't know, like, what you were using a device, or you don't know the method of speech? Maybe we were sending him smoke signals. I'm not really sure. I don't remember. Oh, God. Oh, Lord. Oh, God. Okay, I'm going to get I'm just imagining Judge setting shit on fire outside right outside the window where they have the computer set up. John, quit sending smoke signals outside the window. Oh, my God. All right, let's get to it.
but Sean, we did present. We were there, and
Pictionary.
he said, they have
People have the great ones. Carrier pigeon, Pictionary. They were using Pictionary pieces. We kept throwing Pictionary pieces at the phone. Why didn't he hear us? Oh, my God. Closed captioning. Yeah, they saw words there. They were like, those are our words. It's like, no, that's somebody else's. Oh, my God. Yeah, right there, JD said, Sean is telling you the nicest way possible. Shut up. He's like, shh, be quiet. They are. They are their own worst advocates. Again, we'll see what the courts have to say, but wow. I would say that doing an article where you stick the picture of the magistrate right front and center while talking smack about the decisions and everything, is probably not the smart. You could have probably done this after the hearing. I'm just saying. Maybe don't gear up before the hearing to do character assassinations on your lawyers and stuff. That's and your magistrate. It's just a very weird strategy I'm seeing implemented here. There are many things that I would do, and this is not one of them. Because, her doing interviews like this very much looks like she's down with going after the magistrate, regardless of what she thinks about it. Of course, she'll always say in the aftermath, I knew nothing about this happening. But, yeah, okay, continue.
have to prove it's you.
Mm-hmm.
They have to prove that it's you. I said, they have a video.
Mm-hmm.
It shows you it's me.
Right.
That's ridiculous. Of course I was there, but I did not see her.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't. When you find out that she is there, you're supposed to take your happy ass out and leave. That's the thing. Leave. We've seen multiple engagements where you're at a place and you don't leave. That's the thing, Lynette. Protective orders are very, very easy to discern. Don't engage with the people, but that's only part of it. The other part is it's a distance thing. It's very simple. I said, we've seen video. Oh my God. I feel like I'm going to have to pull a video now. Can you imagine like being your lawyer and you step in and you see what they present and you look at it and you're like, but this shows you doing X, Y, or Z. And they're like, no. It shows me doing A, B, or C. No, it doesn't. It doesn't show. Anyway, let's continue.
He did not present anything.
Okay.
Nothing.
All right. What else did you ask him to do? Do you remember? In terms of the protective order?
We wanted him to file paperwork questioning the jurisdiction of it.
Straight away, that has already been decided when you get into the violation portion, that was already there. It's so bizarre. Exactly, Hazel. She has such a warped recollection that she adapts whatever or whatever happens or what happens to her story and won't remember the version the next time she tells. Yes, I mean it's a bizarre thing, and it's so interesting because the adaptation that she tells you, it changes dependent. I mean, sometimes it changes in things like when you listen to the to the last hearing, when they were talking about her and I stand in the truth. Remember, that's such a dumb name, by the way. I had to pause. Every time I hit it, my brain's like, it's a terrible name. Remember, they started out saying that is not her group. And then about halfway through it, she starts talking about how it is her group and how she posts. So the stories change right in the middle of stuff. And it is amazing when you get down to it.
Because there's no jurisdiction with it. It shouldn't be there.
Right.
And
they explained the jurisdiction, by the way. This Lynette, if you want to know the jurisdiction, this moron that you're talking to explained that in the filing you leaked and he posted for you. So go back and read that. It talks about jurisdiction, how that worked for the initial portion. And after the initial portion, it doesn't matter anymore. Because you're talking about violations, and the violations, they happen anywhere. So when you're talking about challenging the jurisdictional the portion of it, when he's saying, no, we're not going to do it, because you're like, freaking, you're not a couple of steps behind, you're miles behind. That was in the original stuff. That should have been done then, not now. Holy God. Oh, come on, Volpe, man. You got to know some of this stuff. Again, I am sometimes confused by whether or not you guys are so ignorant of how the law works with simple things like protection orders, or if you're just doing this because you get paid that way. Maybe a little both. I'm not sure. But my God, I keep thinking, man, hopefully these people are not this ignorant. You never know.
He did not. He did nothing for us.
And do you remember anything else?
I'm sorry, I don't really.
Okay, and then regarding the jurisdiction, well, what did he say why he didn't file anything regarding jurisdiction?
All he said to me was that as far as fighting the TPO, the things that we had already been guilty on, he really said there was no way of turning that over, that they weren't going to do anything about it.
That's right. Exactly. You fight the battle that's in front of you. You don't fight the battles you've already lost. That's what oh my God. You're there to win the battle that you're engaging. It's going to be, this is another thing that it's going to be interesting because of the newest hearing. Is this really the kind of dumb shit that you want your new lawyers to argue? Because again, they're there to get you out of trouble. You know, the problems that are arising now in the immediate. $6,000, man. Another $6,000. Again, it's just amazing to me. By the way, I'm sure any regular donor that used any type of anonymity, they would like to know this too, just to know. John Cook, whether he was making jokes about it or not, said in the chat last night over on 2L that they would be releasing the donor names. So I'm sure that if you're anonymous, you would really enjoy that. The one thing they won't tell you, of course, is the donor names that are part of the main ecosystem. You know, again, people with mics or the people that have the voice there. Yeah, they won't tell you about who those are, but they'll throw the one or two donors that actually gave money. Maybe they'll make up some names of people. Oh my God. But yeah, they said that in the chat. Holy crap, man. That's crazy. Anyway, let's continue.
So why deal with it?
All right, and then do you remember why he got off the case?
He asked to be removed from the case the same day we were waiting on a motion from the judge to find out if we were going to be found guilty or not. of 2 contempt charges.
And what reason did he give to remove himself?
I believe, I think he said something about he was getting static from his friends, other colleagues. He couldn't.
He actually said that to you. You remember or no?
It was something like that. He just, I can't remember exactly what he said, but
static.
my take on it was that he was getting static from people and he just didn't want to deal with it.
Sean is an obstinate mofo. He really is. I mean that in no negative way whatsoever. He wouldn't want his reputation destroyed by idiots like Bruce, I would say, that are melancholics. But you know, as far as Sean, he does not give a shit what anyone like anything, especially like online. No. If he thought he was in the right, he'd be in the right. So stuff like this is so gross because, again, what this is it's character assassination. And it doesn't say 100% definitively this is what he said. She said, well, I believe that's what he said. I seem to recall. You notice, I mean, I could say that about anything, you know? I seem to recall the moon one day being made out of grilled cheese and you being able to fail those tests, yes, because of the poppy seeds. Oh, Lord. Anyway, let's continue.
All right. Do you think that's a good reason to get off the case?
No.
All right. Anything else you wanted to add about Sean?
I guess what I want to say is it took me a while to see the light when it came to Sean because I really believed that he was in it to help me.
See, look, that's the classic assassination of character. Well, it took me a while to see the light about this person, but once I did, I understood that he was a duplicitous piece of garbage and that he would turn on me. They all do. They all do. You notice that? That's why, again, people like this, like I said, I'm 100% down with helping with the Lisa stuff, but I ain't your friend. You know, I make that clear. You'd be like, oh, he wasn't the person I thought. Oh, I'm telling you who I am. You know, 100%. But again, those people, they kept tens of thousands of dollars of your money. And I just don't think that. And now I feel like they've fessed up a little more. Now they're skiing the slopes and telling her that doesn't really matter. God, can you imagine the excuses, Lord? Well, that doesn't really matter, Lynette. That totally wasn't your money. You know what I like too? Last night they were like, well, he has a medicinal marijuana card. And I'm like, well, that's not the same thing. You know, the medicinals and the ski slope. I don't think he has one for that. But again, they also, there's going to be a lot to cover when it comes to that. But it's funny because they keep saying that they're going to sue everyone that talks about. Really? You think you can fucking sue people over talking about the criminal record? Like that is public record for a reason. And the reason is because, well, again, whether you like it or not, it is grand theft. And maybe some of those people in the ecosystem need to listen to that and maybe look around at the other frauds, fucking felons around these people and think, holy God, man. It's like, I realize, again, this is nothing positive with Preston or anything in regard of other stuff. But as far as the ecosystem is concerned, that woman is swimming with some sharks. And maybe she knew that people were sharks and they thought they would all swim together happily. But that's not the way sharks work. When you run a smaller shark, when they run across a bigger shark will eat them. So, yeah. So let's continue.
And I have to say, he has forewarned me about some things. He has, told me some things were coming my way. And so I don't understand the not doing what he should have done for us. I don't get why he did it.
I'm curious about that too. Sean forewarned you. Are you saying steal? Are you saying it that way? That things are coming? I wonder if maybe this is, again, I don't know this is true. All right. I'm just saying. I wonder if she's trying to conflate him sending over the newest stuff to her as a quote unquote warning. Because, you know, him being the attorney of record before, he would probably get, again, the way that I could see this happening is she, when all this new stuff comes up, he would get a copy of it. He'd give it to them. I wonder if she's calling that him forewarning her, when really, you know, it's not a warning. It's like, yo, as the prior attorney of record, like this is you pretty much. You're being served. He warned us. I don't think that's a. Oh my God, this is so bizarre. Some days, so bizarre, Lynette.
Anything that he did or not do.
Right.
He left us hanging. He got us found guilty when
He didn't get you found guilty, by the way. You got you found guilty. It's not other people's problems when you do messed up shit. And then you blame. See, this disgusts me. This is what disgusts me at the end of the moment. Every time. Why don't you bring Bruce then? I mean, right now, you had 2 cases collapse. Bruce shot the person that was attached to that. He obviously is one of the reasons that those cases, they came together, right? Fed 1. I don't think you even know how bad things are. So to say that Sean found you guilty, that's not him. Ultimately, these are your actions. You know? But like I said, if I had a protective order against me, and there are people, even if, okay, I'll go with their line of what they stated. You know what? If it were me and people they'd have a video. You know how they'd have a video of me getting in my car and leaving. Not me standing around dumbfounded, recording them and doing this or that, delaying, you know, giving mean mugging. They'd have me nothing. I would notice them. I'd turn around, I'd leave, and you'd be done by now. Everything would be done. In fact, it would have been done. There would have been no violations or anything, because there would have been no exchanges, no nothing. But of course, it's Sean's fault. Lord.
He could have stopped it.
Okay, well, it might be.
He could have stopped it. Really? You just said to. He could have. He should have done this. He could have done that. But.
Because he's afraid of all the YouTube static that other lawyers have faced.
The YouTube static other lawyers have faced. You know, you got, like I said, you got a felon that threatens fucking people. You got this guy who they don't have the outreach, but they try to do hit piece after hit piece. They have gone and put up pictures of kids that are attached to other lawyers and more. But man, people talk about you. I don't see Bruce's lawyer right now whining and complaining he's getting static. I don't see MLS's lawyer whining and complaining he's getting static. You know? I mean, of all the dumb shit. Yeah, you file something stupid, of course. It's grounds to laugh at, for sure. To be honest, I mean, you get well paid for your job, too. As a lawyer, you get very well paid. You know, if you're working on contingency, you have the expectation of getting well paid. I mean, you think about it, like an hour a day. I was thinking about this. An hour a day. If you assume that in the first year that 365 hours, I want you to think about this, because, you know, there was a comment, or actually a few comments by 2L that really got me thinking about something. Okay. They said that every day that Bruce would spend an hour or more talking to Lynette. They said this when they turned on her. You know, they made statements about every day he had to spend an hour or more. Okay. Well, he wouldn't do that out of the niceness of his heart. He would do that as billable hours on the back end. Do you realize he said at one time that it was either him or the Fats. I don't remember which one that said that he was like a $500 an hour lawyer, which I was okay. But you think about this. If he's spending an hour a day, right, in 1 year on billable hours, said 365 hours at $500 an hour, that would have been the expectation of $182,500. That would be quote unquote billable. If you're billing your time out, they don't talk to you for free. I tell you, been there with lawyers. They certainly don't have conversations with you for free. They have the expectation they will be comped for their time. So at the end of anything, that's just the 1 hour a day talking. No, nothing else, but 1 hour a day at that price range. That if that's what they wanted to try to go with, you realize the expectation of being comped would have been $182,000 plus just on that. Just on that.
When they're dealing with Jeremy Hales.
Yes, that's always blamed on us. They say that we're doing it to the lawyers and making them leave, but it isn't us. It's the repercussion from the fans and from...
You're turning on your lawyers real time right now. You just turned on 2 of them right here in the process of a couple of weeks. You all have done hit pieces on them talking about Silverman and suing him because he had oh my God. They're like, there's other people that are damaging them. Are you kidding me? Real time, you all are turning on your lawyers. I mean, look at what right now in the middle of a hit piece about Sean, they're like, oh, we don't know why they keep leaving. It's those guys. I love this.
From Hales that causes the lawyers to want out.
Very cowardly lawyers if they're leaving because some YouTuber makes fun of them. All right, Michelle.
I agree. Both Silverman and him both did it.
All right.
Silverman didn't leave, by the way. See, you notice right at the end there. Got to take that shot at Silverman. Silverman didn't leave, though. Silverman got them an outcome. And that outcome. Oh my Lord. Goodness. His son wanted to coach him for a debate team. You know, for debate, honestly, all you do for debate is you look at the points that other people have and you look at the opposing points. Now for this isn't just like debate, because in debate you have to take on sides that you don't firmly believe in. For me, I spend years reviewing cases. Like that's how what I do here. I spend a lot of time getting to know a subject, and I have to feel very confident in it. Very, as I roll through it, you can roll through portions and stuff, but over that, again, it's about confidence in your point. It's not just people pick up on the confidence that you showcase. In debate, I think that's one of the best things that you can do. It doesn't matter. You have to believe in something. And when people think you believe in it, then that comes across. Now, debate, again, that's an artificial thing. So it does make it a little more difficult because I have, like I said, in this stuff, I have the ability to actually go out and truly believe in what I'm talking about. But let's see. I'm going to show you something here. Chicken skin. So as you know, I have been I've been working on the wonderful parody, but apparently I'm going to be sued for parody. Check this out. This is good times here. So this is this is them talking about, oh my God, I never even knew who Tug was. Nothing. Didn't know about his comics or anything. Never heard of him. I mean, he did do the Amber Heard stuff. Did he talk like this? You mean confidently because I knew what the fuck I was talking about? Yes, I very much did. Am I obligated to nicety to douchebags that, again, they're whining and crying victim yet again because of the Gabe thing now. Gabe obviously admitted that he did wrong. In fact, that's the thing that they keep dancing around, but we have it. Okay. Like, do you want us to here? Let's pull it up. Let's pull the freaking statement up. How about we do that right now first before anything? How about we make this really clear? All right. There's a document here. Here we go. This is talking about it, So, for accounts here, here's the state charges that on or about July 31st, 2019, they go through the county, Florida, did knowingly obtain or use or endeavor to obtain or use currency valued at $300 more but less than $20,000, which was the property of redacted or any other person, not the defendant, with the intent to permanently or temporarily deprive that person or any other person that's not the defendant of the property or benefit therefrom, or to appropriate the property use of. Or, again, so they go through blah, blah, blah for, again, count one, you see, count two, that he did falsely hold himself or his business organization out as a licensee, as a certificate holder or registrant, contrary to, again, you have the statute for that. And count three, that he did commence or perform work for which a building permit is required pursuant to an adopted state minimum building code without such building permit. So again, when you go through it, you talk about acknowledgement here. I further acknowledge not have the lawful authority to commit grand theft, false representations, as a license or certificate holder, perform work without the building permit. So again, grand theft. Let's see. Name here, his name, noting that knowingly and voluntarily admit that on these dates I did commit grand theft. You're going to fucking sue us for the document? Well, good luck with that. I'd love to see it because, like I said, I'm going to make this very clear. If you ever get the stones to file some kind of false bullshit lawsuit, a bunch of people out there, the counter lawsuit is going to be hell. Because I'm going to owe every freaking dollar you idiots have ever scammed out of prison. It'll be going to me, I will own you forever. So you keep talking that smack, telling people that this isn't real, that somehow that he would rather do this and have to pay back all of the money plus the fines. We're talking about quite a bit of money at the end of it because, it was too inconvenient to drive to the court a couple of times. Really? He's been on probation for how long now? And then on top of it, we haven't even got to the fun parts yet. Oh, God. So, when you're talking about like an Amber Heard or something, yeah, you know what? Heck yeah, you are guilty. You are guilty there. But yeah, but then they're like, oh my God, it's so bad. Oh my God. I mean, he's not as bad, but he's still the same. The sour jokes and stuff. And he's lying, the speculating. They read a line or two and they speculate. Yeah, we read a line or two and we speculate. We do that. That's the wonderful thing about court cases. You can speculate after you read a line or two. It's amazing how that works out, right? Because you don't know what a judge is going to say. You don't know if they're going to look at the chicken skin slurping weirdo and say, they're going away or not. But they're so full of shit. Oh my God. And then you got Megan, comes out of nowhere. Like, I'd like to know how Tuck feels that it's okay for him to make a book about, about me. Well, it's like a chicken skin for the soul. Holy shit. See, they admit they know what's happening. They know what's up. Now, again, chicken skin of the soul is parody and satire. In fact, it even comes with a disclaimer. Would you like to see the disclaimer, folks? Let's look at it. Check this out. 1 second here. Chicken Skin for the Soul. Self-help book by someone who knows she's delicious and knows you can be too. Satire disclaimer. This book is a work of satire. All characters, events, organizations, schemes, fundraisers, missing money, emotional meltdowns, live stream rants, legal catastrophes, sudden $6,000 emergencies, vanished $1,300 side pots, general buffoonery portrayed here are fictional exaggerations created for humor, commentary, and entertainment. Any resemblance to real persons, living, dead, live streaming, grifting, or currently screaming, "I'm suing" into a webcam is purely coincidental. I can't even speak. Because this was written before. This was written a while back. And it's just funny right now. I'm suing. Or the result of universal patterns of human foolishness. This book does not allege facts, make claims of criminal wrongdoing, or provide legal advice. It simply invites readers to laugh at the timeless human tradition of bad decision, wrong, worse fundraising, imaginary victimhood, and the occasional attempt to break a protective order with pocket change. If you see yourself in these pages, well, that's on you. Satire is a mirror. If the reflection fits, well, maybe you should ask yourself why. Now, speaking of that, let's talk about some new fun stuff, since they love Chicken Skin of the Soul so much. Let's talk about, give me 1 second here. Would you like to see the new wonderful works in the Chicken Skin of the Soul? Yeah, they said I controlled Megan last night. Can you imagine trying to control Megan? Shit. Oh my God. Can you imagine? Lord. Yeah, let me pull up some chicken skin. There's a lot to cover in what they talked about too, by the way. We've got plenty. Well, let's just go over and you can see what's here. So this is entitled, this is Entree 12, The Poppy Seed Conspiracy and Other Crimes That Aren't Crimes, unless you read them. Because denial is a full-time job. So people say the truth will set you free. Now, I say the truth will ruin your brand unless you crush it under a mountain of excuses first. Now, this chapter begins, the night a group of someone's discovered something horrifying, my significant other's criminal record. A friend sent me a DM, with friend meaning someone that writes cult songs about me. Another person, they post screenshots. One user even said, "Is your man actually listed for grand theft?" Now, I squinted at the screen. Grand theft? That can't be right, I said confidently, absolutely confident, and nothing. The screenshots continue. Grand theft, probation, violation. Another violation. I cough loudly, the universal sign for "shut up, you're ruining my art." Phase 1, deny everything, especially the obvious. Now, friends, I began using my concerned pastor voice. Now, again, that's trademarked. We must remember that records online are fakeable and editable and interpretable. Now, someone typed, of course, it's literally from the clerk of court's website. And I laughed. Honey, everything. It's from the clerk. It's Kirk. I can't help it. Give me a second. Okay. Honey, everything is clerked these days. It's probably AI. Of course. Another person wrote, no, this is real. He was charged with grand theft. And I waved my hand. Grand theft? That sounds dramatical. he doesn't even steal big things. Nothing he does is grand. It's just a little theft. Someone responded, it's a felony. I shook my head confidently. That's where you're wrong. It only looks like a felony. Lots of things look like felonies but aren't, like parking wrong or taking funds meant for other people. And the chat, well, they were divided, let's say. Half confused, half screaming. All perfect engagement. Phase 2. The charges are wrong because I said so. I explained it calmly. Look, the system labels things all kinds of ways. For example, fraud. That could mean someone didn't understand your heart. You know, I got a big heart, by the way. Theft can mean a misunderstanding. Violation. That could mean your probation officer is judgmental. Now, of course, probation officer there is a government employee, but still. Now then, I delivered my favorite line of the night. The law uses big, scary words, but you have to read between the lines. His case says felony, but spiritually, it's a misdemeanor. Now, someone replied, you can't downgrade crimes spiritually. And I banned them, of course, for legal negativity. God, that legal negativity. Phase 3, the drug test disaster. Now, unfortunately, the internet sleuths, they weren't finished. They dug up something else. A probation violation for tested positive for the cocaine. The chat erupted. He failed a drug test? Why didn't you tell us? Is this where all the money went? I coughed so violently, my AI filter. Oh, he glitched. He did not fail for cocaine, I barked. Another screenshot appeared. Cocaine positive. I coughed again. That's obviously wrong. It was just a poppy seed bagel. Now someone typed, poppy seeds don't trigger cocaine tests. I glared at the screen. It's like, don't argue with me about science. I'm basically a lawyer after all. Facts, they have to listen to me. It's not real. Someone else added, that's heroin, not cocaine. They're not even, that's not even, it's barely plausible. I smiled the smile of a woman who has never been correct, but has always been loud. You don't understand how food works, I said. Now, phase 4, the poppy seed masterclass. Look, I began shifting into professor mode. Poppy seeds can be triggered anything. It depends on your metabolism, hydration levels, and your spiritual alignment. Now, someone, of course, responded, that isn't true in any way. But I continued anyway. If anything, he's a victim of the big bagels that we bought. I mean, they put things in everything nowadays. You think you're eating sesame? Wrong. It's corruption put there by the trolls. That's right. The trolls did it. Someone else, they sent a $5 donation to write, that's not how toxicology works. And I banned them for science arrogance. Man. Now, phase 5. The official explanation that I made up. Now, I held a live stream press conference and explained the situation. My man didn't take the drugs. He used breakfast, and that's the only crime here. Then I listed the real reasons, like he failed a test. Poppy seeds, contaminated muffins, jealous probation officer, cosmic injustice, vibes. Someone typed, cocaine doesn't come from poppy seeds. I was like, yes, it does, if the government wants it to. Phase 6, the aftermath and ascension. By the end of the night, part of my minds, they quit. Maybe they'll come back. Someone emailed me a medical journal, which I used as a placemat. My man said, babe, I actually did the cocaine, and I said, not in this timeline. And then I launched a line of merchandise called Exoneration Bagels. Haven't gotten to that yet, but that's on later. Then I closed the stream with, you think you exposed us? No, you got exposed. You did. You haters of breakfast and bagels. Now the tips that we learned here. How to handle a felony in your live stream. If someone finds a criminal record, call it fan fiction. If the charges are real, say they only look serious. You know, you're just like you're law adjacent, you're felony adjacent. You're not actually a criminal. If cocaine appears in the paperwork, find pastries. And if an expert corrects you, accuse them of being anti-carb. And if the truth comes out, ban the truth. Now again, for the affirmations. I'm not lying. I am helping the facts evolve. I like that one. He is not a felon. He is misunderstood my typography. It is not cocaine. It's an aggressive bagel. May every charge dissolve. May every drug test be blamed on food. And may every hater learn that carbs, they're innocent. Yeah, that's right. You got to admit, man. You know, sometimes those bagels, and yes, they did go with bagels, are actually so chicken skin, since they brought it up. We might as well refer to, again, satire and parody. Now, they were like, it's okay. I'll sue him for those chicken skin. I'll sue him for that too. Okay. Gonna sue for the talking about the man and his actual records out there. Any parody and satire that laughs at some of the very well, let's just say adjusting in the moment items. Oh my God. Yeah. I'm gonna sue for all of that. And it's based on the events of this case, actions and whatnot. He doesn't know the events of the game. The game. I don't know the events. Well, actually, let's see what we have written out about. You know, again, like I said, if this seems like real life, well then, I wrote about reflections in Extra Crispy, talking about the person themselves. I wrote about the cricket betrayal, you know, because that damn old cricket. How dare that cricket? I'm a supermodel, digitally speaking. I wrote about that. I'm going through the parts here. You tell me when these didn't pop up. The betrayal diet, you know, just because of all the wonderful betrayals, because I'm totally betrayed. The fundraiser of the century, you know, or how I changed a family's life, primarily my own. Let's see, what else have we written about here? Well, what looks off here? Your Honor, I object to mediocrity. Talking about how I totally could pass as a lawyer. You know, totally don't know about that, right? The memorial bench that never was, you know, because there isn't a memorial bench that hasn't produced itself in a fucking year yet, has it? Let's just say. Weird how that's, you know, you got people again. If they want to say that it has, well, they're not being clear to their donors out there, are they? You know, you have people again, 100%. that are talking about, I gave a lot of money for this thing that I couldn't afford and it never materialized. What about the fifth part? Bringing on friends with benefits and rap sheets. That sounds, well, again. Entree 6, how to ruin your biggest donor, you know? Like nothing really says, really being in it and like attacking the biggest donor you have. The cruise of compassion and other things that never sailed. You know, having a cruise line. What's that? I don't know about any of that, right? Let's see what else. There is golf carts and loofahs. You know, where we found out about the color connection to everything wonderful. Cult songs and chicken hymns. You know, because there definitely haven't been any unicorn jizz songs, right? The $6,000 legal dream team, you know, that turned into a bankruptcy. That sounds, again, this stuff, you want to tell people that this isn't satire? Holy shit. This really is talking about you guys? Holy God. Never let a good controversy go to waste. That's the 9th one. Friends who eat pain chips because loyalty has lead content. That is the next in 10. The case of the possible vanishing $1,300. Now, again, I'm not saying that it vanished. I'm not even, again, it is all parody and satire. Again, we even saw a discussion where they were talking about, did you get the $1,300? And they wanted to discuss it privately. But here's the kicker to doing things like that. It insults donors. You know, you have donors out there that are like, what the fuck is happening with money that we gave? And they're being coy. Like they don't ever have to talk about what happened, but they promised that they would give updates for these people. Then you have, again, the poppy seed conspiracy. And of course, after that, because that's where we're at right now, we have our dessert, which would be, the 12 steps to delusion, how that comes together. And let's see, what else is left in here? Acknowledgements. We have acknowledgements too. Yeah, I like the acknowledgements. Check this out. I think these are beautiful. Acknowledgement. Let me pull up the acknowledgements. I thought these were kind of awesome here, and then we'll read over some more stuff. Give me 1 second. Acknowledgements. First, I'd like to thank me for my vision, resilience, and selective hearing. Without my unshakable faith in my own reflection, none of this would have been possible. To my moderators, you were loud, loyal, and legally risky. You sang hymns that summon cease desists, and for that I'm proud. May your hearts stay big and open as your browser history. For my 56K donor, you know who you are. Your generosity was the seed of my empire, and for the reason I learned how to disable comments. To the HOA that banned me, you tried to silence my loofah revelation, but you only scrubbed me smoother. To the lawyer who vanished mid-lawsuit, thank you for teaching me that justice, like Wi-Fi, is strongest near Starbucks but rarely connects. To my critics, you're my real MVPs. Without your rage, there'd be no engagement. Without your posts, there'd be no algorithm to resurrect me. Without your screenshots, I'd have no proof of the persecution. It works out better than prayer. To big tech, for shadow banning my faith, throttling my reach, forcing me to learn about VPNs. Every restriction makes my friends stronger, because some of them have been banned. To the loofah community, you didn't ask for me, but I showed up anyhow. Consider your neighborhood exfoliated. And to my editors, and by editors, I mean the legal department currently drinking on retainer. Thank you for deleting 47 pages of potential felonies. Your redactions made this book almost admissible. And finally, to my followers, my beloved chicken skin, greasy disciples, monetized warriors, you're the reason for being my source of passive income, my eternal audience of emotionally captive angels. May your faith be strong, your PayPal stay linked, and your loofahs stay color-coded for righteousness. And then we had our blessings. If you've read this far, you've either achieved enlightenment or you're collecting evidence. Either way, thank you for your viewership. Now go forth, my disciples, and spread my message. Start a fundraiser. Call it alertness, call it art, call it anything but accountability. Because in a world, there are only two kinds of people, those who give and those who haven't been guilt-tripped yet. Amen, like, subscribe, and share. And there you go. Isn't that beautiful? The gospel, according to that. Totally, again, satire and parody. Totally allowed. Because, oh my God, are you telling us that you could have potentially stolen? No way you would have potentially stolen $56,000. And there's a lady in their family out there that they feel ripped off, and they've said it publicly. And a giant donor has said, oh my God, these people have betrayed me and they've treated me like garbage, and has had to write to other people and try to get them involved. No way that's happened, right? Interesting, because that would really play, that would look really good in front of a jury. In fact, I think I would enjoy that game. I could enjoy it quite a bit. You've been like, oh, we totally never done it. Okay, yeah, 1 year, nothing else. You blame these people. They showed receipts, and like I said, one day, one of you idiots, eventually you'll try to tangle. And like I said, I've got something that will freaking curl your toes and you will cry about. You'll be like, oh my God, I didn't realize he had that. Yeah, I do. But I'm holding it. So anyway, they're like, he doesn't know the events of the game. They want to sit here and harass Super Dave about making a book. Yeah, he made a book. People didn't say he couldn't make a parody and satire book. What we talked about was how creepy it was for him to make a book about someone else's children. That's very strange to me, And on top of that, in a case where people are saying that someone has been accused of being a PDF file, and you're like, no, that's never happened. Then making a book with the blessing of the people that are accused of that, where you put the person filming a child in the trees like some kind of creeper, maybe that becomes some kind of evidence. I'm just saying, But parody and satire, oh yeah, for sure, have fun with it, Have fun. Been there before. I've made parody and satire of shit before too. Been there, done that, laughed at people a lot, made little comic books about it even. And guess what? Those fuckers do. They whined and they cried. They wish they may and they wish they might. But Tuck got that elbow out tonight because I just don't care. You're going to threaten? You should check in with a real lawyer, not one of these idiots that you've teamed up with. Again, because I would never listen to somebody that has somehow lost their license over garbage. I would be worried about your own bullshit these days. But what do I know? So which part of chicken skin have you copyright violated? I know there's a lot of crazy there to potentially have copied. Just saying, gang. I know exactly. What exactly in there? They're like acting again like, oh my God. But they're like, yeah, Super Dave, yeah, because it's okay for them. It's just not okay for anyone else. It's just ridiculous. And the number one book you'll probably going to want to buy is Michelle's book. Holy shit. Michelle's going to write a book. Well, tell her to make sure she puts everything in there. I don't think you're going to like Michelle's book, because that will be a lot of fun, Oh my God, please God, have her write them, And Michelle, don't you go in and try to get ChatGPT to write it. We'll be able to pull it out as AI just like that. Oh my God, please write a book. Please do it. Write it yourself though. Again, you don't need no stinking ChatGPT. You don't need to listen to all these hangers on. You got your own voice. You write a book, Michelle. Can you imagine? Oh my God, they're going to sue us all. Oh my God, you're going to get sued for the chicken skin. But Michelle's going to write a book. Okay. You notice how the facts don't say that they're going to write a book, by the way. Michelle, yeah, I wonder what's the chapter going to look like about their PR team? What will that look like? Are you hoping that it all just talks about Germany? I have never actually sat down. It's kind of like this with these people. They all suffer from main character syndrome. Like for me, I'm mocking. I'm making a parody or a satire. It's a mockumentary of events. It's not about me. These people think they have that. That's why with any other case covered, like, hey, why don't you write about this or that? Because ultimately it's not a case about me, But all these people, they think they're the victims. They want to, what they'll do is walk themselves into another lawsuit, and it'll be interesting because they don't know how to write something and to keep it from being a lawsuit. They look up all those tell-all books. They see them come out of Hollywood and they think, oh, I could do that too. Yeah, the difference is they have just oceans of money sometimes, and they figure that the expense of writing the book and being sued over it, that would be better than. Again, parody and satire is the way to go. But they talk about Stupid Dave's book. Oh, Stupid Dave 100% could have made a stupid-ass comic book. But the thing was, again, he very much was accusing somebody of being a creeper. It would have been in a court. You would have had people, again, what was my commentary about that? Why are you writing a book about someone else's child? I find that to be very, very strange. That doesn't say you can't do it. In fact, you do whatever, but thinking that you can't be criticized when you do it. That's the thing. They're all victims when they do something. They're all victims when you criticize something they do. They're all victims. They're going to sue you. You know what? Sue the fucking way then. The thing is, like I said, I am established enough that I will crowdfund every piece of it. So you won't be able to financially burden me. Like that's part of it. They hope they can get together with some of these scummy people, and they hope that they can financially burden you, you know, to make it hurt. And when that doesn't work, how far do you think you're going to make it go? I've seen people do that. And then at the end of it, you're going to get countersued. And when you're out of money, when the people abandon you, when they leave you sitting on the sidelines, you know, like I said, they've been skiing the slopes. They're whining about, oh man, we need another chicken skin, about 1 year anniversaries. Holy shit. How could I forget that? 1 year anniversaries. Because we've had a bunch of that come up. Again, we've had 2 1 year anniversaries come up. We've had the barn has a 1 year anniversary. The bench, it has a 1 year anniversary. All this stuff is amazing, though. But yeah, it's okay for them to write books. But it's not okay for anyone else, regardless if it's about the case or not. But again, I don't give 2 shits about what any of them think. I'll just sue them if they think it. What's amazing, though, so you go through this, okay? You go through this whole thing about, oh, I'm not here for the money. If I were here for the money, I'd be hashtagging what the hell Tug, all of them. Actually, I've looked through your hashtags, through your videos. You realize people can see all of your hashtags. And not only do you hashtag the wrong things, which actually is, again, a problem on YouTube. YouTube, if you look through its terms and service, talks about using wrongful hashtags. And you use celebrity hashtags because you think it'll bring more people to your doorstep. But what'll happen is sooner or later that AI bot will ban your channel. It's potential, you know. There's a lot of people talking about it. I think I heard my door. Just a minute. Did you open the door? Hey kiddo, what you doing? I heard somebody's butt go poof. Was that you?
No, I went forth way. I bent up.
Oh, you land on your knee?
Yeah, that
Were you going down the steps too fast?
No, I hit it while I was walking.
Oh, let me see it. Come here. Let me see it. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, you banged it on something. Yeah.
Ow.
You're good though. You need a hug and a kiss.
I hit my foot too.
I know.
I hit my foot.
Well, that's the thing. You have to be careful. You know.
Yeah.
You have to be careful. You know.
At least it wasn't on the steps, because I don't want to be rolling down those steps.
No, you don't want to be rolling down any steps. I don't think that would be very fun. You know.
And those steps can.
That's funny. Hey, we fed the snake the other day. What were you calling this food? What were you calling it? Snake what's?
Pies.
No, cake. Snake pies. I think that's funny too. She was
snake
calling
pies
that
and snake cakes.
Snake cakes. I got that recorded. Did you know that?
Yeah, do you want to put it on?
I might upload it one day. You know?
Upload it today or no?
Upload it today? What?
Yes, do it. Do it. I want you to listen to it.
Oh, well, I'll send it to you if you want to listen to it.
Yeah, I want to listen to it.
Okay. All right.
And I sent you something.
You sent me something? What?
I sent you it. Did you see it?
Let me see. I didn't see it yet. Let me see what you sent there. What you sent that for? You're a nut.
Mom said that to me, so I sent it to her and you.
You know what that meant. Jane stopped sending stuff.
Well, stop it. Her said this stuff for me first.
Yeah, but I've let her play with my work phone, you know, because I have a work phone, and she's been playing with it. And apparently, she decided to. I told her she could text, and since she's learning to read, she sends images and voice, right?
And I actually did.
We don't call people though unless it's one of the 4 people I put in the contacts, right?
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Even don't forget you.
Yeah, I'm in there too. That's right. Me, Sissy, you know. Well, actually, 5. I guess you can Gigi or Papa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually 6.
6.
Because 1 was Sissy, Dad, Mom,
Gigi,
Papa.
Who else? Maybe it was 5. Oh, you counted yourself on accident, didn't you?
Yeah, it's gonna.
Yeah, you text yourself. All right. Well, here, give me a. You better go have your lazy day because tomorrow we get back to everything again.
I always wanted to sing because this was.
Go.
Go sing you something.
Oh, hey, by the way, Maestro, hey, sent you $2 for lip gloss money.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Okay, well, go have fun.
I said thank you.
No, she did a pirouette jump. All right. Hey, be careful on the steps, okay? Hey, close that door. Love you. Love you. All right. Okay. Yeah, let's work this up again. All right. You know, you can tell she can't see it because she wasn't like, oh, look at all the yellow on the screen. You know. But anyway, getting back to the getting sued, getting sued. For some reason, they started barking about, oh, I got legit subscribers. I'm not fake. There's no phoniness. But it was funny because as they go along, what's really interesting is to talk about, reputation. My reputation being ruined on different levels. Mine, my husband, it affects the channel. Oh, so people are going to be held accountable for all of that. Now, that's where you get into wonderful discussions like, let me pull this up. Poppy seeds. Yes, that's right. Poppy seeds. Because you don't understand that when we're talking about everything that's gone on, there was actually no possession. None of that happened. It was actually poppy seeds, So check this out. Here's where some of that starts being entertained. And again, just run with it after a while, Guys, it's the same old BS. It's the same old BS. The chasing, trying to get me. They can't get me, so they go after my husband. There was no arrests. There was no possession. There's no nothing. There were never any never arrests, never nothing. Okay, remember all that jail stuff, all of that. The mug shot you can pull up, that's all fake, And what happened there? Poppy seeds on everything. Bagels, they do that. Cough medicine can do it. Antibiotics, they cause those false positives. Regardless, you have to report it. There you go. Nothing happened. No arrest, nothing. He signed a piece of paper. He's saying they've lied. They've lied. It's all a lie, And then going after the prosecutor. I mean, I love it. I love how stupid this stuff is. The whole point was getting to the prosecutor, the public defender. I touched the video last time. Didn't touch the video. So what we're going to do, well, is Gabe guilty of grand theft? Nope. He even said, the guy even said it himself. Yep. Is the guy blind? Nope. Is the guy blind? Nope. We're talking about the blind guy is about your felonious pal. God, you guys are dumb. Holy shit. That's about paint chips. He took a blind guy and he made him the face of an international scam, a fall guy, a patsy. He took a guy wanting out of a guardianship, redirected him into being part of a scam because he wanted him to be the fall guy. So yeah, you want to talk about blind guys and more, that right there. Plus, these other people know we're talking about elders with all kinds of issues. And you know what's really fun too? If we're really going to get down to this, down to the nitty gritty, give me a second here. What's wonderful about this is, let's just look at some of these wonderful allegations. I think some other people have brought up some really good points, talking about how these people they claim there's no victims. They claim nothing happened. They claim, you don't know what you're talking about anymore. And yet, as here, let's see. I'm going to pull something up on this. So here's a wonderful post. By the way, I love Melissa's post. She does a great job with the post here. pull this up. She points out something very fun here. Well, let's read over this, talking about cases, you notice like when you start going through and looking at this, there are multiple people. It's not one guy that this happened with. It was multiple folks. And as they notice the last page with one of these documents where there were 3 other cases of this stuff. Oh, I got it right. Yeah.
You want to see what I sent?
Yeah, I will look at it later. Okay. I can't look at it right now. If you want to keep the phone, though, you better go play. Okay. You can play with those apps and you can message Sissy or Gigi, your mom or whomever. I mean, you can message me too, but you've only got it for a little bit today. So you better go have fun with it.
What? Oh!
You better go have fun with it. But close the door. Okay. She's so funny. You could hear her hit that door. She was like, "Oh, I'm coming." She apparently, when she gets it, she's like, "I can message." It's so funny. But let me leave this back up. I got that little kill switch on it. I wish it woke up as fast as you can kill it, Okay, there we go. So some of the civil cases, though, when you start looking through the paperwork, they get really interesting. And we're going to go over all this wonderful stuff Monday. But when you start reading through it, and again, some of that, again, you can close in. It only closes in so far, though. But you can close in more, which is good. And you can also zoom in a bit. But you'll notice with them discussing this, they talk about contact, what happened, all of this, and the the arrests, because you can see, like here when they're talking about picking them up, the deputy is part of this. They determined probable cause existed to charge the husband with felony grand theft. They're talking about charging multiple things again. Look through the documents, you decide. But these people are lying, and it's crazy because as they went forward through it last night, trying to make excuses, trying to talk about poppy seeds. I mean, they came up with this whole freaking. So here's the stuff about poppy seeds. By the way, let me throw this in because this is the actual part where they didn't just say it can happen with that. No, they were like. They were talking, first of all, they were talking about, they tried to make it about medical marijuana at first. And it's like that's not the point, that's not the point, it's not at all. They're like, well, so he's been doing muscle milk because he's doing it, because he's starting to work out again. That's why this is crazy. This is like, what? I wish a lot of that. But the one thing I know we were doing, because I bought this everything bagel seasoning to put on a plain bagel, anything else I wanted. I always get plain bagels myself. So instead, I just went and got everything bagels, Thomas's everything bagels. We had that for quite a while. I kept getting them. And it changed back because I didn't know, like, they had like poppy seeds or whatever. So they're blaming it again. They're trying to blame this on poppy seed, which does not work. That is not how you feel. Again, they don't come back for skin the slopes. They come back as something else in false positives. And again, ultimately, when you're on testing, it is your responsibility to keep your shit clean, I mean, it's amazing. When people have a device in their car, for example, for the old drinking issues from DUIs, there are a lot of things that have been false positives, but they have to work around that. And this is not the same thing. The excuse is garbage. It is absolute garbage. And they were saying, look in this. I have no idea what's happening. I'm laughing about it. He's laughing about it. It's nothing. But they're going to run with it. Guys, I wonder how she's going to spin it. I'm like, the only people spinning this are you guys. Oh, my God. There was no possession. Fucking took a urine test, a field test, and that's it. apparently have false positives all the time. The officer told us that. Oh my God. Oh my God, dude. So again, they're trying to play it off like it's nothing. But in the meantime, again, they have been accused of ghosting quite a bit of money. If you look at the false positive date they're talking about, false positive, I like that though. Yeah. The result that they get in, it comes right in that little time period, in the 1-year anniversary of the Barndo scam. Oh, Michelle Preston enjoys that, by the way, because they're potentially out there, railing lines while again pretending, here, look. I mean, they keep telling over and over, they tell their audience that, yeah, poppy seed muffins can test positive for speed. Uh-huh. Look, with all the coughing and stuff, I kid you not. You see it right here, Russian. They thought her slush mouth chicken skin slurping sound, and when it comes up so much, they thought part of that live stream was Russian. Oh my God. And you're wondering why your numbers hit bottom until you do something really stupid. Oh my God. This whole thing though, it's all, again, poppy seeds, poppy seeds, poppy seeds. That's what they looped onto. And it amazes me. It amazes me. Holy shit. Oh my God. Does she think, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. This is amazing. Reading this line right here. Check this line out here. So she's saying that the opiate testing, she thinks cocaine is an opiate. Oh my God. That's why. So she went through, read something, or found an excuse for it and was like, you know what? That's my excuse. Doesn't understand that doesn't work as an excuse. Oh my God. You have to be kidding me. Some of this stuff is amazing. I mean, this is amazing. This arc right now with the screaming and everybody's guilty. This is the best stuff I've ever seen. These idiots, man, they really think at the end of the day that this works. And what's bad is that some of their idiot listeners are like, cool, that's not a problem. But look here, they get down to, this is where you hear the, so what, even if it was, they get into the defense portion of it, talking about, look at that here, oh, what, oh, what, oh, yeah, he signed a deal, gets himself thrown on probation. Look, my husband's a grown man. If he wanted to do a line of coke or something like that, he will. And he can tell you if he wants to or not. But the bottom line is he didn't. But, they put it in there. They keep going with this. He's a grown man, And I loved the fact that they try to go with this excuse. They do it along with another comment section where they're trying to deny. They were all over the place. You could tell this is a damage control live stream. It is, because this stuff's hitting hard. Again, people like Michelle Preston, what they've done here is, I think Michelle Preston probably has started to understand that she has ammunition on these people. She should have anyway. She should understand, because again, when you have somebody with a record like that, and you have a case of a lot of money disappearing, again, Lisa is saying that you've got to understand their defense is garbage. And a couple thousand or a few $1,000 that they popped off, I would say for a lawyer, that's again my guess. That is where I'm guessing from, especially again, the way that they damage controlled that night, the way that all of them have tried to keep from that subject coming up. It is firmly implanted on me that unless they want to show proof otherwise, they did it. They paid for it. And hey, that's fine. You know what? They have your money. But the thing is, they let you live in a shed. They denied you money until, I don't know, maybe you figured out you had ammunition on them. It came to you, as part of this. But you have to remember that what they're trying to do, they tried to say again, we did certain projects and then the rest of the money's ours. Remember, as part of the fence alone, they tried to include thousands and thousands of dollars. That again, like stain, for example, they said staining the fence would cost $1,000. They didn't provide stain. That's $1,000. That's yours. It's yours by right. that alone you should understand. It is a November the 13th donation. It lines up. They gave us the date for it, and they said what it was for. For Christmas, they're telling you that the Christmas, again, they didn't pay for all those presents, but they're telling you that a donation on 11/17 for $5,000, where David said, quote, let's do more, that entitles them to $5,000 because that is somehow Christmas. So again, Preston, you should be looking over this and saying, maybe I'm entitled to a lot more money than what they're trying to tell me. Preston, I think, has not yet come to the conclusion of how much money we're talking about. It's a lot. They bragged one day, again, that there were donors that had given just as much as David. So if other donors gave just as much, then you were talking about raising over $110,000. That's where that number comes from. So Preston, I mean, you need to wise up, lady. Maybe you did. Maybe that's why they popped off of it. But they owe you a lot more than that little bit. But this stuff right here should really bother you because how do you afford? Snow is a very expensive habit. Very expensive. It gets there really quick. I mean, back in the day, it was expensive, and I'm sure it's even more now. So, yeah. I mean, to have this pop up again, strangely, to have it pop up a week after the anniversary, the Barndo, and that date, by the way, I'm going by their own screenshot. I'm not making up a date, just to make this clear. I'm not making up a date. I am throwing out a date that they themselves used. Again, I know, Michelle, you catch some of this stuff. Remember, by their own logic, they say right here, I know it's blurry, but October 16th, barn money, that day where October the 16th, not listed here, but whatever that one was, we don't have a mess because we have the 20th. It's right there. They got $20,000 for that. Or $10,000 for that day, rather, than $20,000 later on. But look at this. They pull down $10,000 a year. So you're talking about 5 days after the anniversary of that. You get pumped for that, man. Maybe that should concern you because maybe that's your money they're utilizing. Because you said that they didn't give you any of it. They tried to buy you off for a few $1,000. I'd be pissed. They made me live in a freaking shed with my child while, again, using that child as a donor way. But then they go with this, they're like, oh my gosh, let them harass. That's what I say. Let them do. They're unhinged. They have no content. Oh, you are the content. So, it's funny being Jeremy. Like I said, they can cover anything they want on Jeremy. They could bring up, they dredge up, his divorce. They dredge up his child. They do all that, and they say that's okay. That's fair. But when you talk about the arrest records, well, that's not right. Oh God, oh man, they're more and more unhinged. They're attacking my husband. And here's the thing: they said, my husband's a grown man. Even if he was to do whatever they think he's doing, that's his own business. He has nothing to do with this crap, okay? It's not relevant to this case, okay? So, right here again, it's not relevant that somebody again has a grand theft charge where they have been accused of stealing from the elderly. And not only that, but operating without a business license, doing things. Remember that permit thing? Yeah, part of their charge there was about permits. When you were told, let's just continue without permit, it's weird. Again, so it very much is relevant. It very much is. They want this to go away. They try to change the channel. They try to say, this, that, or the other. But oh my God. Like at the end of the day, it is so bizarre. They're okay. Again, it's so funny too. They also went back to Ray. Ray was gross, by the way, last night. Ray is, like I said, he's one of the worst ones out there. He likes to play off the, I'm old, I'm a man of faith. But again, he was defending his boy Richard. He was talking about sex in relation to certain people. Very gross stuff. Very, very gross, But they were whining, talking about, oh my God, Megan, she sent Ray an email. Oh my God, how dare. Then the next day, she posts in a group. And I was like, oh my God, girl. Oh my God, you're a mother. So they have to bring up, again, that is their classic MO. They bring up other people's children. Other people's children. Because you know what? You're supposed to be a target. You're supposed to sit there. And how dare you engage? Because you're a mother. And you know what? That doesn't work. Megan, they also, last night, were talking about how, for myself, as someone else mentioned, somehow in some way, I can control Megan. I am the one who controls. I thought, wow, that's a really funny thought. You guys have seen Megan, and I can say Megan's many things. Controllable? No. I don't think I could ever control her. I enjoy seeing Megan like the way she is there, sure. But they don't like a Megan with a spawn. Well, that's the thing. It's funny. They see Megan like respond to this stuff with a spawn, and they can't be like, oh, well, that's a strong woman. Nope. Has to be a man pulling the strings, right? But they're like, look at this. Oh my God, her kids would see something like that. Oh, read it or whatever. That's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. What she wrote. Yeah, what did she wrote? You would think that she wrote some dastardly thing, right? Let's read what she wrote. We'll read it together, since they themselves posted it one day. But then this is what she wrote. She wrote, "Dear Mr. Bonecrusher, I'm happy to inform you that you've won a very important award. Due to your content of having fake conversations on the phone with different imaginary people, you've been awarded the Dummy Award. Congrats. Only Mickey Bowman has won this before. You're in an elite group of winners. Keep it up. I attached a badge for you to display on social media if you should so choose. All the best, Megan Fox." Wow. So what should she have written? Again, should she have written, should somebody else have written something about like Mickey did with Revenge Prawn as the title, linking in a video that very much was being talked about that, and Ray's like, oh, I should check it out. Again, he's still playing victim, by the way. He's still pretending that asking him if it was someone close to you, if it was yourself, your family, your daughter, if it was somebody like that, would you have a problem with this? And he's like, oh my God, they're threatening. That tells you all you need to know about them, because they understand what they did is horrible if you attached it to someone they care about. But if it's attached to someone like Megan Fox, suddenly it's not a problem. That tells you all you need to know about the about these freaking, man, they remind me of televangelists. They do. You know, they quote God, but they quote him all wrong. They quote it all wrong. You know, they tell you they used Thanksgiving as an excuse because at first it was Thanksgiving was really close to, you know, the day that we celebrate Jesus, which it's like, no, that's a little bit further off actually, but okay. Then it was like, oh my God, how dare you? Because he's had a loss, and how dare you message him? Okay, well, weren't we talking about the video he made right around that too? Doesn't matter there. But she's like, they're like, oh, if someone emailed her, even though it was out of humor, a joke, or parody, or whatever, you know, that she wants to say that satire is one thing, you know, parody is one thing, but she emailed Ray. Okay, she took it on herself to contact him specifically to harassment. This is harassment. Okay, so that was harassment, but again, make this make sense to me, folks. Let's pull up his email to Fox, because this isn't harassment. I mean, if that's harassment, then oh my God, the idea of what really is harassment there, well, it goes through the roof. Because, like I said again, this is the email that he decided he would send to her. And again, you see, subject. He's responding to something entitled Revenge. I'm going to say Prawn. You know, this was again through Volpe. He sent a link to all of that with the video that's right embedded in there. And Ray decided he would respond not only to him, but responded to Megan Fox with that, saying, cool, I'll check it out. I'll check out the Revenge Prawn. So that's not harassment, right? That's totally not harassment in any way. But it is harassment to write him and be like, yep, you're an idiot. You also had he had fake conversations with her, and she's not supposed to be able to respond to it and laugh at the stupid. Now, fuck all that. You know what? These idiots have written some crazy shit, crazy stuff to everybody out there. They recruited crazier people to make threats to write. They do all kinds of stupid stuff, but it's abuse. It's harassment. It's elder abuse to write Ray. They told us too. They contacted the police. Like I said, we will be FOIA-ing that for sure. And that will be interesting because Ray acknowledged that he was not only down with the subject of that, but he was receiving and watching what they themselves entitled Revenge Prawn. Okay, that's really interesting, right? Oh my God, what a bunch of crazies, you know? What a bunch of crazies. Oh, there's so much of it. They also, again, they were saying that there was no way that there was a threat yesterday, that the letter that I pulled up for you, there is no threat in it. So again, I'm going to make the same kind of comparisons they apparently do not like. If I said that I was going to get a group of people, they used bikers. I actually think it's insulting to bikers personally to throw them in that fray. But they said, here, let's see if that thing, well, let's see if it'll pull up first before I say I'll pull it up. They, last night, of course, were saying there was no harassment. 1 minute. God, I hate this thing. Like I said, it takes it a minute to load in. I'll read it while I'm waiting on it to actually load up, you know. But they were trying to tell everybody that, again, the statement of, hey, I'm going to be hanging out with outlaw bikers. Now, of course, bikers, they wouldn't take kindly to these kind of terms put against them. They said, quote, I have the intent to take up new residence and am exploring living with an outlaw biker gang. Now, first of all, bikers, they're not going to refer to themselves this way. You know, in fact, we were talking about things they might take offense to. They probably wouldn't enjoy you calling them all of these stupid things as well. But what do I know, right? What do I know? I've never said that I'm going to hang out with quote unquote outlaw bikers. They did though. They were like, yeah, he's hanging out with outlaw bikers. You know, he's out there. He's going to go on the nomadic spree. Remember when they were talking about how tough they were too? Remember how serve them and shut up? Now it's, well, we're actually hiding out with outlaw bikers. I love it. But it says, my new bikers, I'm skipping down, my new biker buddies and I can come by Pocket Rocket. He's talking about Randy Shockett's law offices. Whenever you'd like, we can see him about to meet and confer on certain issues. And you know bikers, this is again the threat part. You know bikers, they like to show up unannounced. Like I said, they are just going to show up at your, what are they going to do? They're going to have tea and crumpets. Is that the total non-threat? Like I said, if I were like, hey man, I'm going to link up with some outlaws, you know, again, you see what he's trying to say. And I'm going to have them come over to one of these people's places of business. Would they consider that a threat? Of course they would. They consider anything a threat unless, let me see. Let me see where that's at. Actually have that marked in here. It's so amazing because they're like, there's no threat in that. Richard's the greatest guy ever. Like, man, you know, Ray, you're gross. You're gross. You're absolutely gross. They spent this whole time, you know, it's so weird too. Here's whole sections about threats. Whole sections of the thing. I mean, they talk about threats all throughout there, you know. I want you to know what they think Richard is threatening the rocket. Why do you think he is? Oh, yeah, you want to know why? Want to know why he's threatening him? Why they think he's threatening him? I think he feels threatened because he's going to lose. Actually, he didn't say that he felt threatened. I said that you fucking threatened him. You piece of garbage. Because again, I know exactly what you're trying to state there. He tries to play this game of, oh, these people are going to come out. Just like, you know, he tried to play the whole thing. Maybe I'll swing by your house. You know, he tried that shit with me. I'm like, fat boy, you know, you ain't going to sneak by anybody's house. I mean, my God, you know, you cast a shadow. I would think I would be like, what is that? A lunar eclipse? You know, he's going to sneak by my home? Hell no. I'm going to sneak by anything. But he's tried that over and over again. He's tried to threaten, but keep it on the down low. Meanwhile, again, he pretends that he's being victimized. Even threw his own daddy under the bus, which is amazing to me. But he's like, oh, the throw, you know, is saying you're going to lose. You're going to file something with the bar, a threat. Yeah, that's not what happened at all. You can take that as a threat all you want. That's absolutely not what happened. You know, again, not a threat. There's a lot of letters going back and forth. I don't read it personally, but just heard something about a threat. Yeah, that's not a threat. How would you know if you're not reading it personally, you dipshit? By the way, how would you not know that they're not threats? I've seen quite a few that are absolute threats, and they all have her stamped on them, of course. That's the funny thing, too. They are 100%. They have her stamped on them. It's such a weirdo. They also say that if somebody says that they have a concealed weapon permit, they're threatening. Like I said, you come at me, you come to my home, you better realize I'm strapped. That's crazy. But yeah, they said they're going to sue us all. They're going to sue us yet again. They're going to sue over the chicken skin. So I take that as a ringing endorsement of chicken skin of the soul. In fact, there was no stutter or anything. They didn't pretend they didn't know what they're talking about. They were so upset that they admitted they have been watching and listening. They usually do the denial. Oh, don't listen. I don't know what they're doing over there. I don't know what they're talking about. Now, of course, you hear our music playing in the background, but they don't know. All right, I need to go through super chats because we have something else coming up today. We have 1 second here. I was trying to see something was mentioned to me. I'm looking at it here. Give me 1 second. All right. Let me go through super chats. I was just checking to see if something new. Anytime I get a new one, I'm like, what is that? All right. What's up, Cynthia? Thank you for the 8 months. Today's my birthday. So glad to spend it with all you tugs. Well, you know what? You need along with that. I mean, there's a few things that you need, of course. Amazing days, having fun. But on top of the fun, you need the song.
Happy birthday from both of us to you. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
May all your dreams come true. Happy birthday. We love to have you here. Happy birthday. Here's to another year.
Much appreciation to you again. Appreciate you. I hope you have had a great one. And I hope it just keeps getting better. We're almost to a new year. It's crazy to say that, isn't it? But we are rolling up on it. Lynn, what's up? Thank you for that membership there. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership and welcome to Tugs Thugs. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. Like I said, I love memberships. I love when people join. I love when people send memberships because, again, it creates this atmosphere around things. They're just amazing. So thank you. Jada, what's up? Sent that gifted membership too. Thank you. I appreciate that too. I always like I said, I always appreciate seeing your avatar there. Happy. Got the freaking lights on it. I love it. I love it too. It's festive. Mama Cat, thanks for the 20. Do I have a P.O. box? I made something for you. Yes. The address, if somebody could post it, that would be great as a mod. It is also, just to know each time, it is in the description of the channel as well. So if you go in, there's the description box. It has it right in there. There's like Cash App, Venmo, but there's also a P.O. box there. So the reason I say that, I can't remember it right off my head, and I thank you very much. I love it when you send stuff, particularly stuff that's been made. Oh my God, man. I love it. Like I said, the other day we gotten Halloween bags from a certain one of you out there. Again, I don't know who wants or doesn't want to be shouted out. So I try it this way, but we've gotten Halloween bags and now they were homemade. They're cute. They were great. The girls used them with Trick or Treat. And now they've gotten new seasonal bags. They've gotten Christmas bags and I love them. They've been running around with them. I keep seeing them everywhere. I love it. So yes. And thank you for sure. The P.O. box, like I said, if somebody would post that'd be great. And then it is always there too. And thank you. Georgie, thanks for the vibe. She wants to sue us all, but is openly attacking us live on air. Exactly. Hopefully he can kiss my ass. That's right. I won't stop showing public records. And I won't show. That's right. And again, if I am doing a parody and satire discussion over the insanity that is happening, obviously, as I've said, in our disclaimer, not all of that. Again, not every discussion portion is true, but these people, like, if they see themselves in fraud and more, well, I wonder, right? I got a Raider again. Hey, kiddo.
Hey, did you see the text I gave you?
I did see them. They were very cute. There were a bunch of them too, There were a bunch of them. I like the heart that you sent.
And look, I said words.
Yeah, I see that. You said, I love you. That is very beautiful. I love you too.
Look at that one.
Here,
That's a crazy heart. I had to hide my phone because Mom said I was going to take my phone away.
Oh, no.
I can't tell anything about where I had it. You know why?
Why don't you bring it to charge? Why don't you go have fun with it for a little while?
because mom's coming home and it's going to take it away, but I can't tell her where I hide it.
Oh God. If you see, you better go have fun then.
I'm going to hide with my phone.
Oh Lord, you better go.
I'm going to hide with my phone.
Oh my God.
I'm going to hide with my
Okay,
phone.
all right, go hide it. Go hide with it. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. She is hilarious, man. Oh Lord, that is so funny. Yeah. That is too good. She's like, I'm gonna hide that phone. I'm gonna hide it. She's been texting, sending out picture messages and voice messages. She'll send like 9 or 10 at a time. It's funny. Not very late at night. Again, she knows better, but in the daytime, but certain people, they gave her permission to do it. That's their bad, I think it's funny. It's my phone, by the way. It's not her phone. She calls it her phone, but it's a phone. I let her, like I said, I've gotten her some apps, especially for reading. And I've gotten her a few, like some fun apps that she can mess with that I mingle in with. I think they're fun, but I let her pick out a few to mess with. And then on top of it, there are addition, subtraction, and reading ones, letters and stuff. And she plays them, and then I give her some free time. I think that's a good way. Like it has helped a lot with math, especially. Math it's amazing to see her coming along with it. She's just picked it up and ran with it. So on top of that, again, reading's coming along. So it's good. Like she said, hey, I texted you some words, so that's been a good learning too. But yeah, Georgie, you have her, like, again, the Fats think that they can do anything they want. They think that they can attack whomever they want. They think that you aren't allowed to respond, though. And I find that to be really an interesting idea. Again, the only reason that they've had any luck with a channel whatsoever is because they have tried to leech onto larger channels. They haven't ever had luck with anything outside of that, covering a case or anything else. They had to insert themselves into a case. And ultimately, the reality is the only reason that they got big was because of Bruce. Bruce was looking for a channel where he could have an outlet where he could talk about whatever, have his points pushed out there. And on top of that, he controlled access to LMNOP. That's what he did with them. They got access. Because of that access, people mistakenly thought that somehow that would mean that, donations. Oh, give me a second. Give me back in. Here, let me have the phone. I'm gonna put it up. Okay. I'll charge it up and put it up.
Mom's listening to it.
Well, then you better go. If people, I'm gonna put it up in a mystery space. Then, okay. How does that sound? All right, but hey, you better go. Can you have a piece of pizza? Yes, of course you can have a piece of pizza. Then. Yes.
I'm giving you a piece of your pizza.
Okay, take it with you.
I like the pizza you have.
Well, you should have told me. I would have got you more. I knew you would. If you tried out the stuff I eat, you like it.
Yes, sometimes. I'm getting my pizza too.
Okay, well, take it with you. You can have it.
I'm getting my pizza.
Yeah, you can have a piece of that too. All right, don't drop it. Okay. Be careful with the steps. Love you. Love you. Close that door, okay? I ended up getting some pizza for them. They've been asking for 2 weeks now. Like pizza. And I picked up a Philly cheesesteak pizza. I like those. And she was like, I'm not trying that. That's gross. And then she tried it and she's like, oh, I like it. I'm taking part of it. I was like, see how it is. See how that is. But anyway, what I was saying with Georgie here is, yes, they think they can do anything they want. But nobody else can talk about, again, they can go after divorce records or whatever with Hales. All of that was okay. They could chase down his kid so they could And again, they still didn't make it on their own. Bruce, he actually built them. I think that's beautiful. I think it's beautiful because ultimately they're nobodies. They were built by someone else and they'll fall apart on their own. They're actually tearing their own thing down as we speak, and it's fun. William, thanks for the 10 there. Even if poppy seed muffin were the seeds much well enough, you'd have to eat an impossible amount to exceed the threshold of a test. Plus, it won't show up as yes, the nose beer. That's right. Yeah, when you talk about like thresholds for testing, they're not going to get, oh, I ate a poppy seed and that poppy seed came back as blow. That's amazing. I love it. Yeah, it would be impossible, but it's funny. It's very funny to see them try to push that. Fallen Hero, what's up, man? Good to see you every day. Like I said, appreciate you, my friend. Thank you for the gift of membership. Thank you for being here. That's the big one. Thank you. I appreciate you. Sherry, thank you for the gift of membership there too. Thank you very much. I cannot see your I see your bird. I couldn't tell what it was. Like it's small, a small picture. When I look at there, I was like, what is that? I like that there. I'd like to see a bigger picture of your bird. You know, send me over a picture, an email if you don't mind. I always like looking at people's pets. American woman thrifted. Thanks for the 5 there. Tug, if you eat poppy seeds, doesn't it show up as yes, it does not show up. And again, it would be an excessive quantity of something to have something show up. You know, a lot of this stuff that you just, you hear about, some of it mixes with bugler, but more than that, addicts come up with excuses and they try to say, oh, well, this, this is what happened. Not that I used something. No. That's not the problem. Of course not. It's not me who did it. It's again, like we were talking about with the blame on Sean or anything else. People don't take responsibility for their actions. They blame others because that's what they do. It's hilarious there. Oh, thanks for the fun there. Well, it was by the credo. Don't trust any facts. You haven't created yourself. Indeed. It's funny with that, 1 second. Let me, I got to clear my throat. All right. Sorry about that. But yeah, she's definitely in her, discussions, they get nuttier and nuttier. I carried a purse. Thank you for the 2 there. Hello. Hey, from Germany. That's awesome. I lived in Germany when I was a kid. I lived over the military bases in Frankfurt. That was way back in the day, but I loved the place back then. It was a great place to live. That was back before, God, it really ages me when I think about it. But yeah, I loved it there. So greetings return. Appreciate you. Hazel, what's up? Thanks for the 5. Geez, she has such a warped recollection that she adapts. What happens to fit her story? And won't remember the next time she tells, yes, indeed. I know I said that before because I saw your comment, but yes, you are 100%. Every time that adaptation, it changes. Like I said before, sometimes during the telling, right after it, you'll see a new version. It's so weird. Rhea Raya, thanks 5. Lana would be communicating to her lawyer via form of contemporary dance. Oh my God. She and Lips could get together and it would be an amazing dance. Wouldn't that be amazing? They could get together. The contemporary dance from that. Be like, Suzanne, thank you for that gifted membership. Thank you, Suzanne. And always with that cute avatar too. I love it. Thank you for that. What's up, KY? Amy, thanks for the fun there. Teen Son, want you to coach you for debate team. Is you the shit. I warned someone with a terminally ill child about loofah man who did a story about her case. Yeah, the loofah thing, like if you all missed that, by the way, if anybody did, holy crap. That is such a weird thing in this story too. The whole loofah golf cart, just to say, if anybody comes up with that. But with the debate thing, I appreciate the compliment. First of all, debate, like I said, is a little bit different than what we do in that again, confidence, though. Confidence matters in debate. You know, if you can pick a topic that you believe in, if they'll allow you to pick instead of being assigned, though, that helps because you can research. Again, I'll research something forever, you know. I mean, between, say, the last with Depp and right now with these two, I mean, you're talking about rolling into 7 years of my freaking life here, you know, so for 2 cases. But you know, some people will cover every case that comes along, and that's okay. That's their thing. But I like to be right. So, yeah. What's up, Maestro? I had a recipe for chicken skin covered breadsticks. Man, I should do that. I really should. Kelly, thanks for the 14 months. You should. I hope you publish this. Yeah, I'm thinking about it for sure. I am. I'm thinking about it. I haven't gotten there yet, but I am thinking about it. I'm pretty sure I will, especially now that people are screaming, "That's totally fraud. That's the fraud," and it's like, no, you know what? It's not. It doesn't use anyone's name. First of all, it talks about people's actions potentially, but like I said, you know, not everything in there would be, again, satire and parody. That's the wonderful thing with that. Every word and statement, no, but there are certain things, if you want to argue them in a court, oh, I welcome some of them. You know, I very much welcome the stuff about all of the money being picked up. Oh my God, that would be amazing. And if you want to try to sue people about Gabe and public records, fuck you say, that'll be amazing. So you're going to say, oh, that's hurt my character. No, again, you blame other people for your actions. That's the crazy thing. Nobody has ever, you know, the other thing too, is nobody's ever gone after sponsors because you didn't have any. The only people you had giving you money were the chats that, again, they're not throwing the kind of money they did at you before because of your own actions. You know, $6,000 given to a bankruptcy lawyer. You promoted that. You lie about it, but you promoted it. You know, all that money for multiple things that never happened. You now telling people you're going to keep the fucking excess that came up with projects. You think these people gave that to you? You know, and then you talking about Lynette, and she's the bad guy and shit. People caught that. They walked away from you because ultimately they figured out all of you are full of shit. And maybe that other guy that you've been smearing, maybe that guy was right about some of this. Huh. No Cynic, thanks for the 5. I'm going to leave 2L out of the domain fund. So I got a 2 fleas and some fraud.com pointed at a bunch of defamation. 2 fleas and some fraud.com. 2 fleas and some fraud. Oh my God. It points to the that's perfect. It points back to their jail. They should love that. They should absolutely love that. That's hilarious. Fun times, man. SF, thanks for the 5 there. I'd rather try to retrieve raw chicken from the belly of a gator than try to tell Megan what she can or can't do. I was just saying, gang, gang. Indeed. You know, telling people what to do, too, really takes away from the fun. You know, Megan's fun because she's not controlled. You know, she does whatever the fuck she wants. And that makes it fun. You know, I do whatever. Like, I take things as far or not far as I want. There's no complaint about it or anything else. You know, I think it's great. You know, and Megan, when she's making comments about something, again, that's because these people wanted to fight with her. If it upsets them that she calls them out for a dummy award, well, then maybe they should look at their own actions, because these people have absolutely gone. I mean, they brought her husband, her kids, they put in their house. Those fats too, they were okay with noting where she was at. Oh, they absolutely did all this stuff. So fuck them, you know, whining about an email. Again, Ray is a reprehensible piece of trash. You know, he is terrible. He feels right at home with felons. Again, what does it say about a person? Rhea Ryan thinks so too. My poppy seed bagel, also on the side of Narcan. I know. That's what they make it sound like, doesn't it? That's hilarious. You know, I ended up with a thing of Narcan because I carried it in my car actually. I always wanted that for my car because you know I've run across people that have been in some pretty horrible sorts, you know. So I ended up with that, and it's funny. I never thought that I would need to take it out and look for people that are eating bagels. That would be a funny interview. You know, go up to a Starbucks and see a person eating a bagel. You'd be like, "Excuse me, sir, did you get Narcan with that?" Because I heard that I heard that poppy seed they actually they can test positive for the old cocaine. So you better be careful. Speed muffins. Speed muffins, maybe that's what it is. Can we have a birthday song for Cynthia? Yes, of course. Of course. Let's bust that out. That'll be amazing too. Let's see it. Give me 1 minute. Yeah. Gotta roll backwards. I had to find it for a second. Yes, of course.
Happy birthday from both of us to you. Happy birthday. May all your dreams come true. Happy birthday. We love to have you here. Happy birthday. Here's to another year.
All right. Now, that's awesome. Thank you, and happy birthday to you, too. I love it. I love birthdays there. SF, thanks for the 5. So which part of the chicken skin have you copyright violated? Yeah, that's the question there. There's a lot of crazies there to potentially have copied. Just saying, yeah. Yeah. You know, well, they're trying to say, this all besmirches my character. I'm defamed. I'm using besmirch. They didn't actually use that word. I'm defamed. I'm defamed. I'm like, well, just like being a lawyer, you don't actually know what the fuck that word means. So maybe you should look it up. You know? It's so funny. Emma, thanks for the 2. Oh my God, her book would be 300-page single sentence. Indeed. Michelle, write a book, please. Write it, but do not do it through AI. You can pull it out. If you pull it out, that would be amazing. You know what? This gives me an idea. So thanks for the 11 months there. LMOP writes book, punctuation sold separately. Yeah, glad to catch it live again. Was on replay for a while. Well, I'm glad that you were here, number one. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to catch them live. I realize too. You know, so I'm glad you were able to. I thought of a great gimmick for her. What she should do is she should sell it with like a bookmark. And the bookmark, you know, it's like a long, thin one. And there's a period at the end of it, you know. So anytime you like take it to the end of a sentence, it would look like punctuation being added. And then if there's an exclamation point too, since it's a period with a little long line, you could sell it like punctuation. That would be amazing, wouldn't it? SF, thanks, Rob. Did they make a lawsuit for Dummies book? Maybe we could crowdfund a dozen copies for everyone. Just saying, gang. Let's see. Lawsuits for Dummies. Let me check. Lawsuits for Dummies at Amazon. Let's see. Maybe there is one. Yes, there's the Complete Idiot's Guide for Lawsuits. There is one. Law for Dummies. Living trusts. Oh my God. If you buy a Living Trust for Dummies book, you probably should really rethink your life. Just saying too. Living trusts for dummies. Oh my God, man. Why? Why would you do that? Let me set up my what the hell's redirect, by the way. What the hales? Happy birthday. There it is. All right. I was locking it in while I was thinking about it. So they have a live stream. I know it's there. I'm keeping up with the time. So I like to get it close, though. What's up? Andre Mastro. Thanks for the 2. The lip gloss or candy? Yes. Thank you. Appreciate that. She appreciates it, too, for sure. Maybe not. What's up? I need to tell the little one, by the way. She'll think that's cute. I'm clipping it real quick. She'll love that. Thank you. Appreciate that. ASF, thanks for the additional thought there, Tuck. You have to give them a break. They can't victim straight, and they can't keep their victims straight in the crimes unless there's a libel. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like how many people, when you look at how many people were impacted by their crimes, I mean, you think about that. They always talk about Jeremy. He's so terrible. You know, one of these felonious pieces of shit, like I said, Ray likes to excuse, by the way, had who knows how many victims, tens of thousands of victims potentially. You know, how many companies, again, almost started an international incident, threatened his own wife, you know, to put them in itty bitty bits. But hey, you know, that mean old Jeremy Hales, right? He didn't say things that were nice. God, these people. I'm glad I never promoted that piece of shit. I am so glad, you know. I know other people did because they fell for the nicety, you know, the present. But you can go back to that. Like I told, just to be like blunt about it, you know. I remember back when, and I was like, that old dude is going to, he is a piece of shit. He's going to turn on you. No. Yes, he will. He will. I can see it, and of course he did, because. Why in the world would a piece of garbage? They weren't scummy enough for him. He needed some people that were just absolute scumbags. Let's see. But yeah, I think that's a good point, actually. Travis. Hey, what's up, Travis? Thanks. Damn, back in my day, snowball days, I never used a seasoning on my bagels. That's right. It turned out to be a snowball. Honestly, Poppy came back into test, but not enough to trigger it at, yeah. Well, yeah, it's Coke. It's not going to come back as Coke, period, right? That's the thing, like you're saying. And to come back as an opiate, my God, you know the amount you have to take to bust up a typical threshold? It's just ridiculous. Yeah. I'm not judging people for drug use either. I'm very well not doing that. You know what? I had my day with that. I did. I don't pretend to have been a saint in my life. I have never had trouble with a law. I've never tried to defraud or ruin people like that, ever. But you know, have I indulged? Never had problems with substances? Sure. You know, I don't make excuses for that either. And you know what? It's like anything in these people. Like anytime something comes up, you can tell what kind of people you're dealing with because they always blame someone else. Always. It doesn't matter if it's something big or something little. They even blame people, like they turn on their own subscriber. Like for me, for example, if there's a problem, like if YouTube has a problem, you notice, I'm like, okay, that's my bad. I'll see if I can fix it. But it's my bad. It doesn't matter. Even if it is my bad, I'll tell you why I think it is. But ultimately, I take responsibility for it. Because that's just the way you should be, you know? It doesn't matter. People don't care about the excuse. They want to see change. And these people do not change. And ultimately, that will be all the stuff they have done, the money missing and shit, that won't disappear. People will remember that. And the next thing they try to turn to, the next, when they're like, more families, if they ever manage to break out with something, people will remember this shit. So, and they well should. Mama Laura, thanks for the 13 months. All of these folks, speaking folks, perfect examples of using the Lord's name in vain. It's not about swearing or being fired. Yes, indeed. That is the perfect thing to say, too. When using the Lord, that is actually, it's the greatest note there. When you're using profanity, that is not, quote unquote, using the Lord's name in vain. It's the meaning behind things. When these people post biblical verse and they use it to excuse crime, that's using the Lord's name in vain. So when you're talking about it, those people, they are the prime example of what is wrong. Especially, that's the difference between people with faith and religious people. religious people, they use it as a testament to any excuse. People with faith, though, people that actually believe in something, some of the best people you'll ever meet. There's a big difference. And they are the perfect examples of what you should not be. Travis, thanks for 5. You don't just join up. That's right, too. You got to be able to hang around first and earn the right to be part of clubs. Plus, outlaws beat that ass for saying, outlaw bikers. Indeed. Tourists, man. It's like anything you do. But, you got to, if you were really running around with people that are engaged in some felonious deeds, let's say, they're not going to just bring you along because because you got arrested and you narked on people and you continue to narc or you deny. I mean, Paint Chips blames politicians for being caught and other stuff. These people, like I said, they never change. They don't. They never take responsibility for their actions. They just continue. Always bad people, and they will burn each other. They will. They've turned on each other already, and they will do it again. They've done it many times in the past. But yeah, it makes me laugh because I would think that would be something to send to some actual bikers. Again, they were trying to make threats in the name of bikers last night, pretending to be. They were trying to make threats to me. And I thought that was funny because, again, any real person that had something that they would, they'd have a problem with that. Moody Nana, thanks for 2. Happy Sunday early stream. I'm glad that we got to have an early stream for Sundays for a lot of you that live in different time zones, for sure. Thank you. Adair, thanks, Bob. I enjoy your book, Chicken Skins for the Soul. I need back to listen again. Busy on assignment. Yeah, almost done. Well, that's, first of all, good. You make time for the things that are important. I'm glad you enjoyed it too. I've enjoyed goofing off with it. At first I thought about just AI slopping something out, but then I was like, no, if it was just a joke, like a little one-off thing, that'd be okay. But I wanted to have fun with my own thing. So I'm glad it's been fun and people enjoyed it. Max Lab, what's up, man? How you doing? This weekend it's been more entertaining than it should be, right? And we're going into our last month of the year. It's crazy, right? Not a pot red, thanks to the 2. Powdered sugar on a bagel. I know. You're like, man, that ain't powdered sugar. I could ski on that. That's amazing. I love it, though. I love it. Liz. Hey, how's it going? Hey, the Gifto thing is working, too. That's great. I'm glad that I complained about that to our rep. I was hoping because some people were saying they had problems. I'm glad that it's showing some kind of use there. Good to see you, Liz. Green, thanks for the 2. You and Megan make a great team. Yeah, I think so too. I think we just goof off, we have fun, we cut up. We also, one of the good things with that is if a person's having a bad day, like an off day, and the other person picks it up too. So I think that works out real well. And on the, I still have to have days on my own as well. I have as much days on with somebody as I have off with somebody because I have to have days away. Even the greatest people, I have to have time on my own too. That's my personality. I'm not actually I'm not an actual joiner, let's say, but I've never live streamed that much with other folks. I've live streamed I did with Yellow Flash a long time. I would still be doing it, but it's the late nights. Like they stream all night long and it doesn't work for me right now. But with Megan, she'd be probably the second person I've ever live streamed like a lot with. And it hooked up and it hit. Like the first time she was on as a guest, I was like, man, this is fun. Like we had a lot of fun cutting up and stuff. And I was like, yeah, we should do that again. It just kept going. It's been fun. So as long as it's fun, it's always good to do. Allie, what's up, man? No, currently sitting in hospital after losing a finger. Oh no. I hope you were okay right now. Again, I realize I hope they can do something for you. That's awful though. It's awful, you know. Prayers with you for sure. You know, if you just remember people are out there that are thinking about you. You know, that's if you need some entertainment, even again, there are people here for you for sure. But love to you for sure. Much appreciate you. You know, definitely appreciate you, man. Like I said, I hope with the accident, I hope you're doing okay. Besides that, I realize when I say you're doing okay, obviously there's been an incident, but beyond that, I hope you're doing okay with that in mind. And also, one more thing. Let's see. Give me 1 minute. What's up? Let me see. What's up, Marcus? I'm going to say sent 4 via PayPal. Or sent 2 via PayPal. I said 4. It doesn't matter. Sent via PayPal. Thank you. And said, can't send super chat. Man, there's always something weird going on. Well, I'm glad that you sent that way. That actually, PayPal and stuff, it's a direct way. It's something that is usable right that moment too. So to be honest, that it's just as good. And I can't put it on the screen right there. I wouldn't anyway, because sometimes it has more info than you would like, but it is much appreciated. You know, I am going to now, give me 1 minute. Let me check the time. Yeah, there's about 15 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and send you over. You can get ready, go take you a break or whatever. You know, we've had a good live stream, but I'm going to send you over for What the Hales. They will be starting soon. And you remember next week, we're going to have, it's going to be an interesting week because you're going to have not just all this crazy come up, but you're going to have the discussion about Ohio. Ohio, too. You got to remember, here's one really good discussion about this as well. They don't understand one thing. If they think they have a chance of winning. You realize that if they win at anything like that, I don't think they have a chance of anything. But if they did, you realize what kind of indictment that is against them, because it says anything anybody wants to do is good to go. Wow, that's fun. You know, that's a lot of fun. Keep that in mind. If they ever win, you know, what they're saying is okay is pretty jacked up. So it's like one of those double-edged issues. But anyway, I'm going to send you over tomorrow. You know what will be. It'll be a good one, but appreciate you folks and see you tomorrow.